With technology at our fingertips, we can revive learning and make it more effective for both teachers and students. This is a literature-based review on how that can occur. So the question is, what has made personalized technology successful in schools? I've taken a look at several reviews, case studies, and articles to determine what was important about how they were able to use personalized technology like tablets, phones, and laptops in the school setting to make students and teachers feel successful. I've broken those down into 3 components to success, starting with training, planning, and ending with a shift in teaching and learning. The training, first off, must be supportive and specific. As I was saying from the public of education, the training must be very specific to the content, grade level, or use of the technology. There must also be time for learning and trial of new skills and providing a model lessons and strategy within those. I've also found in the reading that mentor teachers and those playing around the implementation of the technology is important for proper use of the technology. And then finally, there must also be resources available for follow-up and learning from the teachers. Secondly, in training, we must focus on performance tasks. Do not learn based on just the theory, but actually applying the skills that are necessary to use in classroom, both for the teachers as well as the students. In my reading, I found that many schools that did work included things like mini courses or small student groups to help support each other while they learned to use the technology. And as they became more comfortable with the technology, they were able to use it more efficiently and use it much more frequently. Teachers also provide a support group within each other using things like Edimodo, Google Docs, and Q&A to support each other as well as they learned. Those same tools also developed a culture of learning within the training, to where they allowed the students and the teachers to personalize their device, creating small chunks of continual learning through things like Edimodo, Google+, or any other social media or learning platform. I also saw in my reading things that did work were things like there was no training, where they would just give the devices, and the training was very generalized. They gave the teachers or the students time to learn and experience, and then they had reviews and wrap-ups of what they learned from it. They also support a very personalized and flexible learning situation, whereas those schools that did not allow for a personalized, flexible learning area or a culture of learning where the devices were just given and no training was given, the initiatives did fail. The second component is focused on prior planning. The planning must provide background and staff for course materials provided. And the first thing you want to do is start with the why. And as this initiative, or that I'm speaking of, works in our district, and we are in year 3 of our initiative, we're about to go ahead and refresh that initiative. I think it's time to start with the why and do a regrowth of that why. Make sure there's a vision for the classroom and school. What I found with those schools that were successful in their initiative had a vision. What is it that you wanted the students to be able to do, the staff, and allow all the community to understand that vision. And also what I realized based on readings was to encourage sustainability and accountability within the learning itself. Just because you have the tools and you have the network set up, you need to make sure that it is a sustainable learning environment and it is accountable. Schools that did not or were not successful did not have a why, or at least a very strong why, to allow them to continue their growth and move forward with success. Finally, or also another component, is a vision to lead. You must know what the use, the type, and the application of the tools that you're using. So have a vision of what you wanted to do. Again, we must understand that these are for our students. These are for the success of their students. And as it is a success for the students, we must support the local community. Based on my reading, I found that those schools that included both the culture within the school as well as that outside the school were much more successful. Not only those within the community, as well as those in the telecommunication fields, the publishing fields, and many other fields that support schooling. The school itself must have a strong infrastructure. There must be Wi-Fi access in all classrooms. The school must be ready to treat, and help with technology anxiety, both on the teachers as well as the students, as well as those in the community. I also found that there must be a workflow to decrease the need for desktops. In many of the readings, I found that if there was a component that had to be switched over to desktop for publishing or for turn-in, students were less likely to do the work and not as interested in getting the work done. The last component was allowing the digital citizenship and staff training. Digital citizenship both for staff and for students, and shifting from acceptable use policy, where it's very stringent, to responsible use policy, where the training, instead of banning the phones or other technology devices. A shift where management of the mobile devices in the classroom must be taught, but that management also is shifted towards the students themselves learning the proper use of their devices. And finally, my reading also found that those that were successful allowed for early adopters. Those that were not successful mainly told the teachers and the students what they were going to do and how are they going to do it. Whereas smaller programs, small pilot programs, had early adopters share the apps and the uses of the devices as they continued on. And the final component is a shift in learning. What I found is that when I read my readings, most technology devices, technology initiatives, believe that schools should continue like this.